Yes, sir. 103.8, 103.1 and 107.5. It is Diamond FM, always on top of the game with the sounds of Freeman HKD Boss. Chitsike from his David and Goliath album. So previously I also played your song by Chengeto Brown, Anzi Pedzaneni, and yes, Avinci the Nights. So as I promised earlier, I do have guests with me in the studio today, and they are occupational therapists. I hope I got that one right. Yay. So allow me to welcome 3 guests with me in the studio. I do have Bliss.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I do have Clyde.
Fully checked in.
Oh, yeah. And I also have Munashe.
Here and present. Thank you.
Oh, yes. So I do understand that you are occupational therapists, yes?
Yeah, students.
Students, you're still students, but all the same. Mato, the thing is, you have to own it.
Yeah.
When someone is studying medicine, they'll call themselves a doctor even before they graduate, yeah? So, you are occupational therapists before you graduate.
Yes.
So, as we get into the show, what exactly is occupational therapy? I'll go to you, Clyde.
Okay, so occupational therapy is a health and social profession that aims to assist individuals to participate, and engage in everyday life activities, which we call occupations. These occupations may encompass areas of self-care, work, leisure, and may include activities such as grooming, bathing, dressing, feeding oneself, participating within the community mobility, taking care of others, participating within the work environment, exploring leisure activities, as well as engaging in play and social participation with others.
All right, you are checked in for sure. Because the way you were moving, but all I got was something quite similar to physiotherapy. But would you kindly help us understand, Kuti, what is the difference really between physiotherapy and occupational therapy? Yes, I'll move to you, Bliss.
Okay, so occupational therapy and physiotherapy, these are 2 different therapies, right? Mm-hmm. This used to help people regain their physical functions, but they focus on different aspects of rehabilitation, right? Mm-hmm. So while both these therapies strive on helping people to live better and more independent lives, occupational therapy focuses more on activities of daily living, such as like self-care, productivity, and work, and leisure as well. But physiotherapy, it concentrates more on gross motor movements. So in general, occupational therapy helps people to relearn and develop skills that are necessary for daily living, right? Whereas physiotherapy aims to improve movement, strength, and range of motion. Yeah.
Wonderful. So moving to you, Clyde, I do understand that, for one to take on a specific profession, they have to have some sort of a ability to do so, right? Mm-hmm. Or to be a doctor, you must be good at math, you must be good at physics, and so on. So what does it take for one to be a physiotherapist?
Okay, so physiotherapy as well as occupational therapy, 2 professions that are within the rehabilitation unit. So the requirements for one to be a physiotherapist or an occupational therapist, at least 3 A-level passes, and also you should be good in English and mathematics. That's for O-level. And then what's most important for you to engage in such occupations is the passion. So we say that we should have the passion and the energy and the zeal to go forward, and then you can achieve your dreams.
Powerful stuff. Munashe, you have been quiet.
Yes, well, thank you very much for bringing me into the conversation. Yeah, I see I've been sidelined quite a bit, but that's fine. Thank you for bringing me into the fold.
So, I think from you, Munashe, I also want to understand, Kuti, what has been your experience so far in this occupational therapy? profession?
Well, thank you very much for that question. Well, the journey has been tough. We're not done yet. We still have quite a long way to go. But yeah, we have had some challenges, some ups and downs. But it's been quite a beautiful journey of learning how to interact with people. You gain a new perspective from occupational therapy. The way that you used to see people and view people is different once you are inculcated into the profession, which is quite a good thing.
Still on that, do you also deal with when you're learning, you understand kuti panopina ma subjects akati one day. So do you also deal with psychology when you're dealing with occupational therapy?
Yes, we do. As my friend mentioned earlier, it's a health and social allied health profession, meaning that it encompasses both the health aspect and the social aspect. We actually do have a basis of psychology and sociology when we begin our profession at part 1-1, which is the first year of the profession.
All right, check your time with it is 23 minutes after 10 o'clock right here on Diamond FM, always on top of the game. And if you're just joining us, I am in the studio with 3 students right here who are occupational therapists. And yes, we are what exactly is occupational therapy? And moving over to you, Bliss. Who benefits from occupational therapy?
Okay, so everyone benefits from OT. From pediatrics, which are children, from adults, and also the elderly, which are geriatrics, right? So, for example, conditions that are managed, we can deal with Parkinsonism, then we have scoliosis, stroke, we have memory and attention issues, like anything that actually affects anyone in their daily activities. So this encompasses the mental health and also the physical health. So yeah, even autism and brain injury as well. So the therapy actually can help to improve cognitive, physical and motor skills, and building self-esteem as well, and a sense of accomplishment, to improving range of motion as well, and strength, decreasing pain, assisting even with balancing and strength, and aiding as well in fine motor skills. Any difficulty, we can actually chip in.
Okay, so still on that, do I have to have a difficulty for me to go for occupational therapy?
As long as you have a challenge in your daily activities, like my colleague has mentioned earlier in the definition of occupational therapy, then yeah, you need OT.
All right, I think one of you can take this one that I'm about to ask you, one of you. So yeah, who refers clients for occupational therapy? When and how to refer for therapy?
Okay, so I'll take that one.
Okay.
So who refers for occupational therapy?
Yes.
Referrals can actually from individuals, like from actually our healthcare professional colleagues, like nurses, like the physicians, the doctors, the psychologists, and other therapists, like speech therapists, like physiotherapists as well. They can actually refer to occupational therapy. Then one can also self-refer to occupational therapy. Since now you know what occupational therapy is, you can actually call your occupational therapist. Like, I have this problem, so you can actually self-refer yourself. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us. I think I will move this one to Clyde, who has been quiet now.
Yeah, I'm there.
Tell us about the job prospects of occupational therapy.
Okay, so occupational therapy in Zimbabwe, it seems to be a new profession, but I would beg to differ. It's a profession that has been there for quite a long time, especially in the European sector as well as the Western context. So for the job prospects now, we see that occupational therapists are in short supply worldwide and have an excellent job prospects. The jobs that are there are found in the government and private sectors. So occupational therapists do work in hospitals, rehabilitation centers, mental health centers, as well as old people's homes. You talk about your insurance companies, in the uniformed forces as well, in schools, as Bliss had mentioned earlier on, that we also work with children with autism. So we'll be looking at those children who require special needs. So occupational therapists are there to facilitate in schools. Another interesting factor that you might find in schools is that you might find out that what we call poor pinza grip. You might need an occupational therapist rather to chip in and help such that such that the child fully functions up to their optimum level, which is satisfying to both the school and him or herself. So OTs may have to OTs may also work in industries, as well as architects and planners. That's the world of ergonomics. The way we are sitting in here, we have to sit in such a manner which is ergonomically supportive, that will not put strains on our backs, which will also implicate our health as we grow. So I think that's basically the job prospects for an occupational therapist.
All right, so still on that, Clyde.
Yep.
What are difficulty in writing?
Yes.
There is an issue that I had to deal with here previously, whereas people think, or rather it's a norm, that whenever a child writes with the left hand, it's a disability. Would you, as a occupational therapist, manipulate a child's brain so that they can change the hand that they write with?
Thank you for that question. So, and I can give an example of myself. Back then, when I was in grade 1, I used to write with the left hand, and then my mom would say, no, you should go to the right side. You understand? So, over and over the years, then I became right-handed. But later on during my studies, I realized that in psychology, there's what we call brain dominance. We do have the left dominance as well as the right dominance. So it is very, very normal for someone to use the left or the right. It's very, very normal. But due to what we call brain plasticity, the brain is able to learn new things. So by the virtue of shifting to the right side, I became right-handed. But in fact, I'm left-handed.
So you can write with both hands?
Not per se, but I can open some things with my left hand, such as my boro. Yeah, I'm just but I've become right-handed. But the thing is, our social norms, like the Shona culture, that say that I see it or something. It's just a social perspective that we should take into consideration. But within the medical field, there isn't any implications about it or anything.
All right, so because of our time, I will just move on on a more personal aspect, and I just need you to just say it in brief. I'll start with you, Bliss. So when you decided to take on this journey of being an occupational therapist, what were your parents' reaction?
They actually supported it. Yeah, because we got information. We were actually advised what occupational therapy is all about, and we actually and I was interested myself. Yes, so I was happy for myself.
All right, and Clyde.
Let me be frank with this one. I wasn't very happy to be an occupational therapist. I think my colleagues.
Oh, you?
Yeah, I wasn't happy.
But your parents were?
Especially my dad. My dad was very, very happy. He said this is a good profession. I wanted to become a chemical engineer, but along the journey I've realized that this is a good profession, and I think it's a calling.
All right. Over to you, Monash. I hope, Monash.
Yes, well, thank you once again for bringing me into the fold, having left me in the cold for some time, but it's all good.
They're your colleagues, not me.
Well, yes, what I have to say about that is that I'm grateful for my parents because they've been a supportive force. We all didn't really quite know what occupational therapy was at the time. So as we've progressed, I've gotten to know what it is, and I've gotten to share with them, and they truly are pleased for me, and well, they've been supportive. So yes, that's how it's been.
So I think, just to be fair, I will allow you, Monashe, to give your closing remarks for this show.
Okay, thank you. Well, what I do have to say is that we came here to inform so that people know about occupational therapy, and maybe to inspire quite a few young ones to maybe try and join the profession. Well, I hope that we had effect and an impact in doing that, and that maybe, just maybe, someone got inspired today.
All right. I will thank you so much, guys, for being on this show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have yourself a lovely one, Antka.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is Diamond FM, always on top of the game. And yes, I was joined by 3 young, beautiful humans, and they are occupational therapists. I hope you learned a thing or two about occupational therapy, and also you will inspire a child to embark on such a journey, which is a beautiful mental journey, rather. So yeah, here's the sounds of Iyanya, One Side.
It's the